morning. I barely made it a morning live. So, how are you guys? I have been, I admit it, rearranging my lights just a little tiny bit more, just a smidge here and there. So, like I've said again and again, I think I've got it. I think this is it. I think I can nail everything down. So, let's see. I was going to do a pre recorded because I don't have a whole lot of time. And then I just decided to go ahead and do it live at 12:46, and when I came on live it said that it was starting at 11:46. It said that it was starting at 11:45, making me a minute late before I even got it going. What a problem. Annie Ruler, hola. All right, girl, it's me, you, and I got one of my mods laying low in the background. So let's just get this show on the road. Holy effery. One sec. Have a little tea party here. Oh, that's really good. That's mint. It tastes like summer. So everything I say is simply my opinion. It's simply for the sake of conversation. I am always hoping to open up a discussion with my lovely viewers. I'm always hoping to learn something and hoping that we can all learn together. So all my videos are made specifically for YouTube, and that's an entertainment platform. And please hit that like button if you feel inspired. And, there's just a couple of things I came on to say. The big news, as we all know, is Bethany being subpoenaed and her attorney instantaneously almost trying to quash it. Some say squash, some say quash, some say quelch. Quash, I believe, is the actual legal term. So I've been looking that up a lot because you do not see too many subpoenas get waived for any kind of reason. I mean, if you're royalty or if you're like the president, then yeah, you can override being subpoenaed. If you are just not a material witness and you don't have anything to offer and it's going to put your family through a tremendous hardship and you have to fly from the other side of the planet and you don't have the funds to do it, those are the types of things that can get you out of a subpoena to testify in a case like this. But being a material witness on site, ludicrous that anybody thought for a second that she could not be subpoenaed before the subpoena came through. That just tells me how much power is at play there in Moscow. In my opinion, that's the power of the sororities, fraternities, the Greek system, the power of the universities, and the power of the PD. That they think that they can shelter this person who was present, who said that she was at the party with two of the victims and accounted for nearly 5 hours of their time frame that was lost. And I don't care if she didn't see anything. I don't care if she didn't come out of her room. I don't hear anything. She's still there and she has a tremendous amount of information or lack thereof. Not having information is still information. So, yeah, Fred, Annie, Sherry, Sudie, Donna, good morning, everyone. Thanks so much for being here. And like I said, it's going to be a short one because I just don't have that much time, unfortunately. So maybe I'll do one at the end of the day, if possible, because there's so much information coming out, you guys. And I don't want to be reiterating or repeating what other people are saying. There's no need for that. What I want to do is try to come up with ideas that haven't been thought of yet. So a couple of my ideas that I'm not saying that nobody's thought of these, but the facts don't fit the case. So they're continuously trying to fit a square peg into a round hole, right? They're trying to manipulate the facts to fit the situation. So like with the timeline, with the Elantra, with the sheath, with Bethany and Dylan, with Jack D, with the criminal defendant. So remember a couple weeks ago, I said possibly, and this was like kind of an outside chance. This was kind of a fringe thought that possibly maybe Brent Kopaka was their plan A scapegoat. Possibly the criminal defendant is their plan B scapegoat, and that's falling apart. And now they got to build their plan C scapegoat, and that would be Bethany. Just an idea. Just an idea. Man, they're propelling this case forward in the oddest of directions. We still have 2 months before the preliminary hearing, you guys, before the arraignment. Let's see, Sarah Q. All I know is that if they feel she has anything that can prove BK did not do this, then she needs to come forward. I would be mad sitting in jail longer than I should if I'm innocent. But of course, yes, it's good to state that clearly. Thank you, Susie. All I know is that if they feel she has anything that can prove BK did not do this, then she needs to come forward. I would be mad sitting in jail longer than I should if I'm innocent. Yeah, and I'm not convinced that the criminal defendant is innocent or guilty. I'm not convinced, but the longer that goes on without the Pullman PD stating the outcome of his interview last April for that assistantship, the longer they dig their heels in and say that they don't have any information of the outcome of who of the 4 candidates was offered that position, makes me think that he was hired by the Pullman PD, you guys. Like, I've been hedging that way for a few weeks now, if you've been watching regularly. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that it's possible that Pullman PD hired the criminal defendant for that assistantship, that research assistantship within their police department, and that being part of the police department, whatever it was that he did that night, he thought he was part of the police department and that he could trust them, right? It's a crazy thought, but anything's possible. Was on Publicly Buzzed, Ann Taylor asked the commenter, what is the evidence? She has had channel long time. Last video was kids on vacation in Costa Rica, 8 years now. Can't find screenshots though. Wow. I'm a little confused by your paragraph there, Annie Ruler, but let me see if I can break it down, and thank you. It's a loaded one. So yeah, I'm a little bit familiar with the channel Publicly Buzzed, and it seems like a really good channel. And was Ann Taylor like in the comments or live? That's what it sounds like. What is the evidence? She has had channel long time. Last vid was kids on vacay in Costa Rica 8 years ago. Now can't find screenshots though. Not so dumb blonde. Hello there. Love all your theories. I don't know if he's innocent or guilty either. I just don't trust anyone in this case. Well, and it's just not up to the public to determine if he's guilty or innocent. It's up to the jury in a trial, and preserving the integrity of the jury pool and the trial is paramount, absolutely paramount, if our system is going to have a snowball's chance in hell of working. Why would one not do everything in their power to help clear this up? I don't know. Well, Sudi, I've got a crazy theory for that. Hey, J-Rod, what's happening? Good to see you. Annie Ruler says it really looked like her kids on vacation. Ann Taylor was in comments asking, what is the exculpatory evidence? Now, down makes me think it was her for real. I screenshot her banter. You're kidding me, Annie Ruler. You want to send me emails of that? I won't do anything with it without your permission, but I would just love to see. But of course, it could be anyone. I can't imagine that she would be on there. I mean, if she's only asking questions, but still, she's under a gag order. So going on YouTube That would be like flying close to the sun, you guys. And, oh, and she has no children. I watched legal department conference and website. That was 2 years ago. Oh, good to know, Jax. Wow. Crazy info. Andy Libby says it needs to be June. Yeah, I'm sure many people are feeling that way. It needs to be June already. Maybe then the comment sections might not be as volatile after that, or the conspiracy theory people will probably still think stuff is planted, though. Well, and it's not a conspiracy theory if there's more than one person involved and it was planned. So, again, let's go back to that phrase coordinated effort. So, if it's a coordinated effort, which I can't imagine that it's not, whether the criminal defendant is part of that coordinated effort or not, it would seem more likely that he's part of it, even if it was unwittingly, unknowingly, unwillingly. It seems like that could potentially be what was going on, and that there was some kind of orchestrated event that was occurring that he was a part of, and he was excited probably to be a part of it, or not. I mean, if he was part of the Pullman PD and Moscow PD, Pullman PD, let me just say this too, that in the event that somebody is going to investigate Moscow PD, normally that would be the county sheriff. In this case, it seems like all these entities are in bed with each other. So then you would go to the higher state level. So that would be Idaho State Police, right? They were there. So that's not going to work. So I just wanted to explain that. That's why I keep jumping to that higher level of federal authorities, Homeland Security, FBI, marshals, U.S. marshals, that normally if a police department is being investigated by an outside party, it would be the county sheriff. If not the county sheriff, the state. And then it goes up from there. So I just wanted to outline that. Will email, please share. I should have screenshot fam pics, went back, seems private. Maybe sis was preteen feeding a horse. Awesome, Annie Ruler. Thank you. So yeah, I'm sure you caught that other comment that somebody was saying she doesn't have kids, but these are just comments in my comment section, people. We don't know. We do not know. And hey, American Princess and Aaron Estes Park. Yeah, she said she has a dog. Well, that's a fur baby, right? That's a kid of sorts. Glad I caught you live, catching up now. And yeah, I was saying it's going to be a short one this morning. I was going to do pre-recorded, but decided to go ahead and come on live because I love you guys so much. I love the interaction. And basically, these are the very few things that I wanted to discuss. The witnesses being scapegoated, the facts not fitting. I haven't gotten to the tickling the wire yet, but you guys know what tickling the wire is, right? That's like when, specifically that goes to when a party is being recorded and they're trying to get the party to talk about something specifically. They'll say or do something really outrageous to get an emotional reaction. So tickling the wire, like I figured when Upchurch in the Kylie Rodney case said that Kylie wasn't real, I thought he was tickling the wire, that he was just trying to get a reaction. So I'm wondering with all of this, if some of it is that, some of it is the tickling the wire. Why make such a big deal of a witness being subpoenaed? Of course she's going to be subpoenaed, you guys. And again, we've got a gag order. So, grr. And then the other thing that I really wanted to focus on too was just explaining the internal investigation of a law enforcement department that, a law enforcement department can certainly do an internal investigation of someone within their department. Absolutely. That happens all the time. But if the department is going to be investigated, you could hire a private attorney to do that. You could hire a private investigator to do that, but most likely it's going to go to the county sheriff, if not the county sheriff, the state, and then if not the state, it keeps getting bumped up from there. Good morning, just arriving. Have you covered News Nation eerie silence concerning this latest news, which tends to look favorable to BK? I have not. I have not spoken of NN because in my mind, they're dead to me. So, and I haven't even looked to see what the heck happened with Ashley. But did you guys hear that Tucker Carlson was given the axe off of Fox News? Whoa, dude, that's huge. That is huge. So they just had that 800 million settlement last week, which means that they're making a lot more than that with their tickling the wire and their effery and their extreme perspectives. Like, that's what it's all about, you guys. It's all about clicks and views, even if it's not YouTube. They're trying to be extreme. They're trying to get people upset. They're trying to get attention and get people to talk about them. And then they rake in the dough. It's the same reason why Star Magazine and National Enquirer will put lies in their tabloid, because they're going to make way more money with those lies than they will ever have to shell out in settlements. So it's just a numbers game. It's the bottom line. Thank you, email Annie Ruler. Awesome. Can share. Okay, cool. Maybe her spouse has children. If she's married, could that be Annie? It's a good good angle there, JXV. I know she's married, so yeah, she could be a step parent. Who knows? Are you investigates on the case? Voting machine scandal. Tucker and Don Lemon both axed. Okay, I was so focused on Tucker, I might have heard about Don Lemon, but was just like, Tucker Carlson, Tucker Carlson, Tucker Carlson. What? So, doggy, so sweet. So yeah, I do have a few other notes, you guys. You know, whoever makes the most noise in the situation is going to be basically running the narrative. And that's a lot of what I think the gaslighting is trying to gain control of the narrative. So, you know, the effery wins, the gaslighting wins. And then, like I was saying yesterday, we start gaslighting ourselves. You know, we start going, oh, wow, a witness being subpoenaed? How shocking. You know, like, that's an absolute basic given. Like, that's crazy. But also to think about the whole picture, you guys, like with Fox News, with the settlement, that these ratings for them with their extreme news is good for the economy. It's part of the whole global economy, part of our whole national economy. It's big, big bucks. It's a machine. It's all about the money. And you've got to look at how economic prosperity ties into everything, every case, right? Follow the money. It's all about the bottom line. It's all about the bottom line. And, you know, looking at just what's going on in Moscow with James Fry and his significant other, his wife, Julie Fry, being the financial director for the city of Moscow, and then being voted in as the clerk of the county courts, I think. But remember, that election was 5 days before this crazy catastrophe. There's no coincidence in homicide. There's absolutely no coincidence in homicide. If we've got what it looks like we have, just like over in Truckee, with the big deals and the trafficking and law enforcement involved. It's the same old story, you guys. The same old story. Let me read a few more of your let's see. Tucker was supposedly making around 20 million a year. Is that all? Well, now what's he gonna do? Can you imagine that kind of dough? So like almost 2 million a month, like a half a million a week, like $100,000 a day. What? My goodness. Um J Rod, you're cracking me up. Subpoenaed maybe because she is an uncooperative witness. Well, wouldn't that be interesting if they have to cross-examine her as a hostile witness? That gets very dramatic very quickly. Did you know Moscow University is 50% of the economy? It's huge. And yes, thank you for saying that, JXV. So Tucker Carlson, he liked to really hammer away at how all universities were scams, all universities were bankrupt, all universities were in basically shambles. And look at what's been going on here with the University of Idaho. We know that they've been having a lot of serious financial setbacks for many years prior to COVID. And COVID, it seems to me that a lot of businesses either flourished with COVID or perished with COVID, one or the other. So I think it all ties in. Heard about that. I can see why there was pressure to solve this case quickly. Exactly. And, quickly, it's all relative. Like 6 weeks from the time that it happened until the arrest, I wouldn't necessarily call that quickly, but they definitely got it done, got an arrest before the new semester started or the new term started so that kids would come back to campus. Famously, Ethan's brother and sister came back to campus and their mother posted about it on social media. I mean, to me as a parent, that was surreal. I cannot imagine. I absolutely cannot imagine. But of course, if they're going to say, well, the bad guy's locked up, then everything's safe. Nothing to see over here, folks. I emailed you a personal email that I did not want public. Thanks, Fred. You will get a chuckle out of it after you sign off here. Well, that will give me something to look forward to. And yeah, we're getting close to half an hour, so I am going to have to sign off early. Sorry about that, you guys. I figured I could either do a pre-recorded or just do a tiny live. Moscow PD narrative is crumbling in front of the eyes is a pleasure to see after I told them the bottom line about this case. I love when I'm right on a theory. Well, I believe it's crumbling right before their eyes, but I also don't want to get the cart before the horse because I don't feel like we really know yet. And Annie Ruler says, what was your bottom line on this case? I mean, I can tell you what my bottom line is, you guys. I'm sure you know if you're regulars on my show. I'd be thinking that, some of the people in the uniform in the department are criminals, like big time criminals. Just like in Truckee, just like in Nevada County, Placer County. I mean, look at what we've seen with Wazoo PD, with Pullman PD. There's a lot of effery in Moscow PD too. Maybe not to that level of essays that we've heard about, but we know that there's a lot of cases that never get reported, that reports aren't written, or that the call is taken, the report's written, but there's no investigation, like with the brain on the dumpster. outside the frat house on the same night. Like that would be significant on any night, but especially a night when you had some epic tragedy like that. Absolutely. Good morning, Jazz King. And Donna says BF getting subpoenaed is not shocking. Finding out that she might have seen or heard things that could help BK seems to be the shocker. Well, and that they're pushing back, that they're trying to get out of it. To me, that's crazy, to file the motion so quickly to try to quash the subpoena is very unusual, unless there's an actual good reason for it, like that she wasn't there. Maybe she wasn't there, you guys. Maybe she was not there. I mean, we just don't know. All of the information in this case, I believe, is still mysterious and being kept under wraps, and we know very little. The brain on the dumpster was the same night. Yes, it was. It was the night of the 12th, morning of the 13th, that Saturday night, Sunday night. The father didn't call it in until the 15th. But when he called it in, Mr. Payne took the call, which seems especially odd to me since he was working on a quadruple homicide. But then to just kind of poo-poo it and say, oh, it's probably an animal brain. I mean, this is what was documented in the call log. It was simply documented in the call log. There was no investigation. That's bizarre. Like that's just chilling, in my opinion. Absolutely chilling. So I am going to have to go ahead and wrap up, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Please hit that like button if you feel like it. Share, subscribe, and have a really good rest of your day. It is just after 12 noon. It's almost a quarter after. So have a great lunch, and hopefully you can eat really well. I've been wanting to share with you one of my secrets of how I consume as many vegetables as I can. Salad for breakfast. It's so good. It rocks. It just like sets you up for the day. So it reminds me of an old Beck song, if you know that one. She's cooking salad for breakfast. She's got tofu the size of Texas. Nightmare Hippie Girl, that's the song. Anyway, I've been doing salad for breakfast since I was a teenager. When I remember, I will literally go years forgetting to do that. So I've been doing it again lately since I've been on this jag of reminding you guys all the time to eat your veggies. It reminds me to eat mine. So I just thought I'd share that hot little tip. Try it. It's great. Salad for breakfast. Donna, you're a nightmare hippie girl too. Awesome. Yeah. And my husband and I, we were cracking up when that song came out because we would both eat salad for breakfast together. And we did eat tofu. We were never vegetarians, but we just like to eat healthy. So eat your high protein, your fruits, your veggies. Try to do twice as many vegetables as fruit. It's a tough one, but it's really important. Stay hydrated, get your exercise, get your rest, get your relaxation. Be productive, be respectful, be forgiving, be kind. The officials in Moscow are probably in panic. I bet they never expected the reach and attention this case would get, especially by so many outsiders who are absolutely determined to find the truth. Well, I can't imagine that they'd be surprised, a quadruple unaliving of college kids on campus, basically. I mean, from the outset, it reminded me of Kent State, the 4 that were shot back in the 60s, 70s. Absolutely. I mean, it's a huge, huge, horrible disaster. But I do agree with the spirit of your comment here, Aaron. The officials in Moscow are probably in a panic. Definitely. I bet they never expected the reach and attention this case would get, especially by so many outsiders who are absolutely determined to find the truth. So let's just say it was a coordinated effort for a theory for a moment. Things never go as planned. Nothing goes as planned. Like life is just too chaotic. There's too many balls in the air. There's too many things that you don't have control over, that you can forget about. I've brought it up again and again, going back to that movie Fargo. Then that was a planned kidnapping, a fake kidnapping at that, that ended, resulted in multiple homicides. So whatever the plan was to do that night, if indeed there was a plan, which it seems like there was at least by one person, right? Um, things unfolded and occurred differently than they could have foreseen. And then things are unfolding differently in the aftermath. You can never foresee how these things are going to occur, you guys. You really can't. There's too many variables, just absolutely too many variables. And I hope that they're in a panic, because I think that they are doing things wrong. I think that they are having an issue with crimes being committed by law enforcement in Moscow. That's my opinion, and it's legal for me to state that opinion if I feel like there's evidence to arrive at that conclusion. That's not slander or libel or anything like that. So I just want to be clear on that. I am 100% distrusting of Moscow PD, period. I think that they need to be investigated. I've said it clearly the last couple of videos, and I'm going to keep saying it. I'm hoping that other people will say it too, and that it'll actually happen. Who's going to investigate why it took the lead detective 4 hours to get there? All right, you guys, peace out. Have a great afternoon. I hope you have a fabulous day. Sending you light, sending you love. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.